Anthony was born around 251 in the Egyptian village of Koma in the fertile Fayum oasis. His parents were wealthy Christians who nurtured the faith in him and his young sister. When Anthony was about 20 years old, tragedy struck. Both parents died, leaving him with a considerable estate and responsibility for his sister. A few months later, while attending Mass, he heard Jesus' words from the Gospel, "If you wish to be perfect, go, sell what you have, give to the poor, and follow me." Convinced that these words were directed at him, he sold most of his possessions, gave the proceeds to the poor, provided for his sister by entrusting her to a house of consecrated women, and stepped away from worldly life to seek God. At first, Anthony remained near his village. He visited local hermits, learning from them the disciplines of prayer, manual labor, and self-denial. He moved into an abandoned tomb to live a life of penance. There, he fought intense spiritual battles, visions of frightening beasts, temptations to laziness or sensuality. He overcame these assaults with prayer, fasting, and watchfulness. His austere way of life soon attracted attention, but he refused visitors and sought ever greater solitude. This phase lasted 15 years. At about 35, he crossed the Nile and took refuge in a derelict fortress at Pispor. For 20 years, he spoke to no one, living behind its walls and receiving a small loaf of bread tossed over the enclosure each day. Curious pilgrims occasionally came, but he avoided them. Around the mountain, however, men inspired by his example began to build huts. Eventually, in about 305, Anthony emerged. To everyone's astonishment, he appeared vigorous and serene. He agreed to instruct this growing group of disciples. He taught them to divide their days between prayer, manual work, and scripture, to live humbly, and to support one another. Under his guidance, the first form of monastic life took shape, a scattered community of hermits united by a spiritual father. After some years, Anthony again yearned for deeper solitude. He withdrew into the eastern desert between the Nile and the Red Sea and settled on a mountain that still hosts the monastery of St. Anthony. There he spent the last 45 years of his life. Although he prized silence, he welcomed visitors who sought healing or counsel. During the persecutions under Diocletian, he traveled to Alexandria to encourage imprisoned Christians. Late in life, he returned to the city to defend Orthodox faith against the Arian heresy. Wherever he went, he radiated a balance of strict discipline and compassion, urging his listeners to fight the demons with discernment and to maintain joyful hearts rather than gloomy faces. Anthony died peacefully around 356 at the extraordinary age of 105. Before dying, he asked two disciples, Macarius and Amadas, to bury him in an unmarked grave so that his body would not become an object of pilgrimage. His friend Bishop Athanasius of Alexandria soon wrote the life of Anthony, a literary portrait that became a spiritual classic and inspired countless others to embrace the monastic vocation. Through this narrative, generations discovered a simple yet radical man who, in responding to the gospel, pioneered the way of Christian monasticism. Today, Saint Anthony of the Desert is honored as the father of monks, the patron of hermits and animals, and an enduring model for those who seek God through solitude, prayer, and selfless love.